different parts of the world, there are roads that seem to challenge logic. Lines of asphalt and gravel suspended over precipices, carved into rock by sheer force of tools, or traced where nature seemed to have said, "Not here." Some were born out of pure necessity, others out of vision and ambition. All share the same promise: grand landscapes and an exploration experience best enjoyed with caution, planning, and respect for local regulations. Number 15. Dalton Highway, United States. In northern Alaska, the Dalton Highway stretches some 666 kilometers between the interior and the Arctic coast, crossing forests, tundra, and mountain ranges where the horizon seems endless. In many sections, the surface alternates between asphalt and gravel, and the dominant feeling is one of isolation. Here, the journey becomes a pact with the climate and with your own discipline. In winter, the cold can be extreme, and the wind alters the perception of the terrain. In summer, the long daylight transforms the valleys into a slow, luminous postcard. The most valuable thing is not arriving, but learning how to move forward methodically, checking the vehicle, carrying water and warm clothing, informing others of your route, and stopping only in permitted areas to contemplate wide rivers and mountains with metallic tones. To travel it safely, it is best to inform yourself in advance about road conditions and follow official guidance. And from this frozen extreme, we jump to a staircase of curves among the clouds. Number 14. Ruta Los Caracoles, Chile, Argentina. At the Los Libertadores International Pass, Ruta Los Caracoles is a choreography of curves that climbs the mountain range as if drawing a pattern across it. It is recognized for its zigzag turns and for reaching nearly 3,175 meters in altitude at the crossing area, where the air becomes cleaner and the landscape sharper. Here, beauty is not only in the snow-capped peaks, it lies in the sense of precision, in how each turn opens a new window of rock, sky, and distance. The best advice is simple: smooth driving, low gears, stops at designated viewpoints, and special attention on cold days when ice may be present. If you travel as a visitor, enjoy the route as if it were a moving lookout. If you cross out of necessity, let calm be your co-pilot. Respect limits, signage, and border controls, and always check traffic recommendations for possible weather changes. With the memory of those perfect turns, we now travel to a European road that seems designed to captivate the eye. Number 13. Transfagarasan, Romania. In the Carpathians, the Transfagarasan is more than a road. It is an alpine spectacle of broad curves, viaducts, and panoramas opening between mist and peaks. Its route spans around 151 kilometers and reaches approximately 2,042 meters near Lake Balea, a glacial mirror that lends the landscape an almost theatrical calm. It was built as strategic infrastructure in the 1970s, but today it is experienced as a route of contemplation. You move forward, brake, breathe, look, and move forward again. The experience improves if you choose the open season. It may be closed many months due to snow, and drive without haste, letting the mountains set the pace. To do it properly, suitable tires, headlights on, and stops only in marked areas. If you travel by motorcycle or bicycle, caution and visibility are key. The Transfagarasan shows that engineering can also be landscape, and with that idea in mind, the next stretch takes us to a track leading to one of the most photogenic valleys in mountainous Asia. Number 12. Route to Fairy Meadows, Pakistan. At the foot of Nanga Parbat lies an access many describe as a gateway to a natural amphitheater. a narrow, unpaved mountain track several kilometers long, climbing toward meadows and natural viewpoints. This is not a place for improvisation. Common sense rules here. The responsible choice is to go with authorized local drivers in suitable vehicles and only when conditions allow. The reward is twofold. On one hand, the thrill of advancing slowly between sheer rock walls and deep views. On the other, arrival at green meadows where silence seems to amplify the mountain. In terms of experience, this stretch teaches a valuable lesson. True exploration does not require speed, but attention. Bring water, warm clothing, and respect the rules of the area, including waste management and guidance from local communities. If you continue on foot, do so only on permitted routes, with proper equipment and without leaving marked trails. And from these heights of the Karakoram, we move to a completely different setting. A road that plays with the sea. Number 11. Atlantic Ocean Road, Norway. On Norway's western coast, the Atlantic Ocean Road appears as a line drawn over water. 3 kilometers, linking small islands through 8 bridges, with Storseisundet as its photographic emblem. Here, the experience is measured not by distance, but by visual intensity. The ocean opens on both sides, and on windy days, the landscape changes minute by minute. The smartest approach is to drive slowly, avoid abrupt maneuvers, and choose times with good light to safely take in the coast. If a storm is underway, the sensible choice is to scale back the plan. Observe, photograph from authorized areas, and let the weather set the limit. There are also designated stopping areas designed for unhurried enjoyment, as if the road itself were a panoramic walk. On this road, nature is not conquered, it is observed. And when the sea fades behind us, the next stop takes us to a rock wall where a community carved its own passage. Number 10. Guoliang Tunnel Road, China. In Hunan province, the Guoliang Tunnel is a work of human determination, a passage carved into rock about 1.2 kilometers long, with a single lane and lateral openings that let in light and vertiginous views of the valley. It was built in the 1970s, largely with simple tools, to connect an isolated village with the outside world. And today, it attracts travelers seeking more than a beautiful road. They seek a story of effort. The key here is respect. Respect local traffic rules. Avoid peak hours and do not stop where it is not permitted, due to narrowness and limited visibility. If you visit as a traveler, treat it like a moving museum. Headlights on, safe following distance, and patience. Caring for the environment is part of the experience. The value of the place lies in its uniqueness and its integration with the cliff. And with that memory of carved stone, we continue to a Bolivian route that descends through changing landscapes. Number 9. North Yungas Road, Bolivia. Between La Paz and the Coroico area stretches a historic route of around 64 kilometers with curves, frequent fog, and a striking contrast between altitude and lush vegetation. Today, much of the main traffic is diverted to newer alternative roads, leaving the traditional alignment as an exploration route for those seeking nature and deep panoramas. To enjoy it safely and legally, it is advisable to go with authorized operators, follow local instructions regarding circulation and stopping points, and prioritize good weather days. Avoid haste. Here, the true pleasure lies in observing how the landscape transforms, as if crossing seasons in a single morning. Maintain conservative driving, Avoid unnecessary overtaking and respect signage. The beauty is best enjoyed when everything is under control. Carrying waterproof clothing, some warm layers, and water helps ensure comfort amid sudden changes. And from the Yungas, we now ascend to a Himalayan pass where the sky seems closer. Number 8. Khardungla Pass, India. In Ladakh, Khardungla rises to 5,359 meters and serves as a gateway to the Nubra Valley, set among dry mountains, vast skies, and light that changes the color of rock hour by hour. It is a route that inspires adventure, but is best enjoyed with serenity. The air is thinner, fatigue arrives sooner, and the best decision is usually to go slowly, hydrate, and take short breaks without pushing limits. Exploration here is both visual and sensory. The silence, the wind, and the vastness of the landscape remind you that you are on one of the highest roads in the world. Responsibility means checking the pass conditions, following official controls and recommendations, and carrying warm clothing even under sunny skies. If you travel by motorcycle, add visibility and caution, headlights on, helmet, and proper gear. Khardungla is not about speed, but perspective, arriving and looking as if the world were opening in layers. And after this roof of stone and cold air, we move toward a road that stitches countries and mountain ranges together as if sewing the map. Number 7. Karakoram Highway, Pakistan, China. The Karakoram Highway is a monumental journey of about 1,300 kilometers, linking narrow valleys, meltwater rivers, and mountains that rise like walls. In some sections, the altitude exceeds 4,700 meters, making the climate a central character. A day may begin clear and end with low clouds and icy air. The beauty here is geological. Layers of rock in different colors, distant glaciers, and villages appearing like human oases in a vast landscape. To enjoy it safely and within regulations, it is best to drive during daylight. Check road conditions for possible landslides and follow authorities' guidance. Carrying water, some food, warm clothing, and extra time turns the journey into a serene experience rather than a race. And if you stop, do so only in permitted areas. The landscape is best appreciated when everything is in order. After this mountain backbone, the next road takes us to the Alps, where curves seem drawn with a ruler. Number 6. Stelvio Pass, Italy. Stelvio Pass is an alpine icon. 2,757 meters of altitude and a succession of curves that, seen from above, resemble a ribbon coiled over the mountain. The experience here is almost mathematical. You turn, climb, turn again, and the valley shifts perspective, as if the mountain were showing different versions of itself. In summer, it is generally more accessible, and the pass fills with cyclists, motorcyclists, and travelers seeking that rare mix of precision and immensity. To enjoy it safely and within regulations, avoid peak hours, respect speed limits, use headlights, and maintain distance, especially around bicycles. Even on mild days, it is wise to carry warm clothing. At altitude, weather changes quickly, and the air can be cold. Stop at designated viewpoints, listen to the silence, and let the landscape do its work. Here, exploration is contemplation, not haste. And after this serpent of asphalt, we cross to China to climb a road made legendary by its countered curves. Number 5. Tianmen Mountain Road, China. In Hunan Province, Tianmen Mountain Road gradually climbs the mountain over about 8 kilometers, tracing 99 curves carefully laid across the slope. From the valley to the upper park area, the road gains nearly 1,100 meters in elevation, doing so in such a winding way that, seen from above, it resembles a ribbon twisted among rock and vegetation. But Tianmen impresses not only because of its layout. What truly makes it special is the surrounding environment. The humid forest envelops the asphalt. Mist appears and disappears without warning, and cliffs open to either side like ever-changing natural stages. With each curve, the landscape transforms. Light filters through clouds, the air cools, and the mountain seems to offer a new image, as if composing the journey step by step. Driving this road is a sensory experience. It does not invite speed or clock watching, but calm progress. To do so safely and within the rules, it is important to respect limits, follow guidance from the tourist area, and choose times with less traffic. Stopping in marked zones, driving smoothly, and paying attention to weather conditions allow full enjoyment of the route. Tianmen is not just a climb, it is a journey felt in every curve and remembered long after reaching the top. Number 4. Zojila Pass, India. Zojila rises to about 3,528 meters and serves as a key pass between the Kashmir Valley and the Ladakh region. It is not a road to be taken lightly. Its seasonal nature requires careful planning, checking pass conditions, and always following official recommendations before setting out. Here the journey begins long before turning the key. The environment is high mountain, austere and powerful. Slopes in shades of grey and ochre stretch as far as the eye can see. The air is cold and clean, and silence creates a sense of vastness that is hard to describe. There is no rush. Zojila invites slow progress, with patience, letting each stretch reveal itself gradually. To enjoy it safely, it is best to drive gently, respect signage, and accept that the mountain sets the pace. Checking brakes and tires is part of the ritual, as is trusting the experience of local drivers when traveling with them. At this pass, prudence does not diminish emotion, it transforms it into calm. Zojila conveys a simple yet profound lesson. Exploration does not mean imposing oneself on the landscape, but learning to move within it with respect and humility. And when the highest point is finally reached, the reward is not a loud achievement, but an intimate moment. Stopping where permitted, breathing deeply, and contemplating a landscape that stays etched in memory without the need for words. Number 3. Hana Highway, Hawaii, United States. On the island of Maui, the Hana Highway, known as the Road to Hana, offers a completely different experience from mountain roads or open coasts. This route of about 105 kilometers crosses tropical rainforests, crystal-clear rivers, and volcanic slopes covered in intense vegetation. The journey includes more than 600 curves and dozens of narrow bridges, carefully integrated into the environment. Here, travel is a constant transition between shade, leaf-filtered light, and brief views of the Pacific Ocean between trees. Each section invites stops in authorized areas to observe waterfalls, short trails, and volcanic beaches. The road is designed for slow movement, respecting both the natural environment and local communities. The Hana Highway is not about reaching a destination quickly, but about enjoying each kilometer as part of the discovery. It is a route where nature sets the pace and the driver learns to adapt, turning the journey into a deep and memorable experience. Number 2. Great Ocean Road, Australia. Along Australia's southern coast stretches the Great Ocean Road, a panoramic route over 240 kilometers long that follows the contour of the Southern Ocean. It is a road designed for contemplation, where sea and land converse without interruption. The asphalt winds alongside limestone cliffs, open beaches, and rock formations sculpted by wind and waves. One of its greatest attractions is the succession of natural viewpoints from which marine arches, stone columns, and endless horizons can be observed. More than a simple journey, this road proposes a slow rhythm. Clear signage, rest areas, and protected access points allow the landscape to be enjoyed responsibly. The constant sound of the ocean accompanies the entire route, creating a feeling of continuous travel, almost hypnotic. The Great Ocean Road proves that a road can be both a tribute to the landscape and an invitation to explore without haste, with all senses fully open. Number 1. Trollstigen, Norway. In western Norway, between deep fjords and vertical mountains, lies Trollstigen, one of the most famous mountain roads in northern Europe. Its name means the Troll's Ladder, and a single glance explains why. A series of tight curves climbs the slope as if the road were drawn directly onto the rock. The road overcomes a height difference of more than 800 meters, crossing waterfalls, panoramic viewpoints, and stone walls polished by ice over millennia. Each stretch offers a different perspective of the valley, with silvery rivers and peaks wrapped in light mist. Trollstigen is designed to be enjoyed calmly. There are safe observation areas and architectural walkways that allow contemplation of the landscape without interfering with traffic. Here, the experience is not based on speed, but on the feeling of moving within a carefully preserved natural setting. Driving Trollstigen is a lesson in harmony between modern engineering and wild landscape, where every curve invites you to stop, breathe, and observe. We have traveled routes carved into rock, bridges over the sea, and ascents that brush the sky. In all of them, beauty becomes more intense when we travel wisely. Legality, respect for the environment, and prudent decisions. Now tell us, from which country are you watching? And which of these roads would you like to experience, step by step, without rushing? If you enjoy extreme landscapes and routes that seem impossible, subscribe and activate the bell. See you on the next journey.